Hi, this is Elaine Shea. I'm the Verge Program Director, and we're at Green Biz Studio with Ahmad, who is the founder and CEO of Copia. Welcome, Kalma.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
So what is Copia?
Yeah, so Copia is an online and mobile platform that solves the complex logistics issues revolved in the redistribution of surplus food.
So that's a big area to try to solve
in
a serious area. So, I mean, how did you get started? What brought you to this area?
Sure. A few years ago, I was walking down Telegraph Avenue in Berkeley, and I encountered a homeless man begging for food. And something about him compelled me to stop and invite him to join me for lunch. And during lunch, he sat across from me, just like you are, scarfing down his food. So he was really hungry. It wasn't a ploy or anything. And then in between bites, he shared a story. He said, "My name is John. I just came back from my second tour in Iraq. I've been waiting weeks for my VA benefits to kick in, and because they haven't, I haven't eaten in 3 days." And that really hit home for me because this is a veteran, someone who had given the most selfless sacrifice for our country, only to come home to face another battle, which was hunger and homelessness. And then adding insult to injury, right across the street, Berkeley's dining hall was throwing away thousands of pounds of food. And so it's this very stark reality of those who have and waste and those who are in need and starve, and those two people right across the street from one another. And I originally thought it was just, this is just a Berkeley problem, but really it's not. This is a global issue where over 40% of the food that we produce is wasted. And so it's not a scarcity problem here, which is what most people think hunger is. It's a logistics problem. And so when you think of it as hunger being a logistics problem, you see the light at the end of the tunnel. You know that it's just about reallocating these resources more efficiently and more productively so that the people who are in need get the food that they need. And that is exactly what Copia does.
So that's an incredible origin story. I think the main thing right now is for us to understand applications.
Sure.
So where have you been able to make an impact so far?
So first, how it works.
Right.
And so you would launch the Copia app on your iOS device or go to copia.com, and you would say how much food you have, when do you need it picked up by, and your contact information. And all of this information is then sent to a virtual marketplace, and it kicks in our algorithm, which will match the exact amount and type of food to the nearest nonprofits. It'll dispatch a driver to come pick up that food and then redistributing it to the nonprofits that are in need at that day, at that time. And then as a full circle, we'll provide photos and testimonials of the people that were fed so that you get to see the impact that you made, along with data and analytics reports that help you reduce disposal and future overpurchasing and production costs. And in addition to that, we also provide enhanced tax deduction receipts so that you get to also see how this is financially rewarding to your bottom line as well as a business.
Cool. So then that's how it works. And then so where are you actually using it?
So we're on our way to feeding 1 million people, all with food that would have otherwise been wasted. And this isn't, last night's pad thai or half-eaten pastries. This is the highest quality food, pulled pork sandwiches, lobster rolls, $300 cheeses.
Wow.
I promise you they eat a lot better than I do. And because we want to give people, we don't want to exasperate an already existing problem. We want to give high quality food to the people who are need it, because we know it's the first step. Before you think about education or health, you have to be fed. And so that's where we're starting.
So where do you want to be making more of an impact?
I mean, globally, right? So
Right.
This is a global issue. But what's interesting is the demand that we've gotten. We've received over 60,000 requests for global expansion, and from interesting places like Germany and Austria, who say we want to use this platform, we want to help it expand here, so we can redistribute food and other resources to the Syrian migrants. That is a use case that I could never have thought about. I mean, you think about this also in emergency relief situations, in post-Katrina or disaster relief. I think that that's a really extraordinary application. I also think that really, once we figure out the redistribution of food, which is the most perishable resource this can be a platform that can be leveraged in the redistribution of medicine, medical supplies, books, clothing. And so we can become the most effective platform for the redistribution of surplus resources. Because really, across the board, it's not a lack. It's not a lack of anything. It's just about how do we get this surplus to the people who need it when they need it most.
So how can people get more involved?
Yeah, you can sign up your business whenever you have surplus food. You can be that nudge that they need. You can sign up to be a driver, and you can also encourage your nonprofits, your local nonprofits, to also sign up so that they can receive high quality food.
Great, awesome. Well, thanks so much for providing such an optimal sourcing tool.
Yes, of course, my pleasure.
Awesome, thank you, Kamal.
Thank you for having me.